Welcome back in, y'all. I just got done watching the CFP Rankings for November the 12th, just like I'm sure most of y'all did. I have several thoughts that I need to get off my chest. Please share yours with me down in the comments section. So first and foremost, as a Tennessee fan, if there was any question that Tennessee absolutely has to win out to make it to the college football playoffs, there's no more questions. We've been sitting at number 7 for like the past 2 or 3 weeks, only the past 2 weeks with the CFP rankings, but y'all get my point. They're not trying to move us up. I think that we looked good versus Mississippi State. We beat them worse than Georgia did. And for one half of that game, we had our backup quarterback in Gaston Moore. And yes, I have been hearing those rumors that Nico might not play this weekend because he could potentially have a bad concussion. Now, I don't think that he does, just because if you have a bad concussion, typically you're going to get knocked unconscious. I never saw Nico get knocked unconscious. He came back. He was able to play for at least one more series. And, you know, he actually threw the football around some earlier today with the team. So I think that he is actually going to be okay. If he does have any sort of a concussion, it's probably more of a minor one. I don't know if he's in that concussion protocol or not, but if he can play, okay, if he feels like he can play, I'm sure that he's going to try to. So I would bank on Nico playing this weekend. Some people just like to kind of spread rumors, and really that's a good thing for us because, man, look, let Georgia get ready for Nico and Gaston Moore. Like, let them just get ready for a whole bunch of different stuff. That's going to take away from them focusing on who's actually going to be playing. So I think the Tennessee is in a really good spot, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't really hear for sure if Nico's going to be playing maybe all the way up until game day. But kind of a, telltale sign will be if they're saying that, he's actually going to travel, right? If we see him traveling on Saturday, he is probably going to play. So let me go ahead and get into some of my thoughts right here. Well, actually, let me also touch on this too, because I know that some people think that we can't go beat Georgia with our backup quarterback, Gaston Moore, but keep in mind that Gaston Moore is an older player, okay? He's not going to be as, I would say, bothered about all the outside stuff, by the crowd noise. He's a lot more mature. And, I mean, we saw what Ole Miss's backup quarterback did for that series versus Georgia. Actually, that was the spark that got that team going. You know, once Jackson Dart came back, he was like, oh, well, shoot, the backup can do this, and I know I can do it. So we're going to be fine. We don't need for our quarterback to be, some outstanding juggernaut type of a player. Just manage the game well. We can run the football down Georgia's throat, and our defense is going to keep us in that game. So that's all we really need to do is just manage the game at quarterback and make a few plays every now and then. I think the Gaston Moore is really good at that. So let me tell you, what I have a problem with this top 25 ranking. Number one, Clemson has no business being in the top 25. They have not beat anybody this entire season. Anytime that they play up against a team with a pulse, they don't just lose, they get drugged. So why they're up there, I really don't know. But if I had to guess, I would say it's brand bias. But that's going to take care of itself at the end of the season because South Carolina will end up beating Clemson. So I'm not too concerned about that at this point. But let's come on up. Okay, we see that they've got Georgia sitting at number 12 right now, and Ole Miss is right ahead of them at number 11. So they've got Georgia there because they want to give them the opportunity to get back in to the top 12 and into the playoffs. Now, Tennessee goes down to Athens and beats them, especially with our backup quarterback. Then, what are the chances that they make it? Before I say that just was not going to happen, but now I don't know because the people who are voting on this stuff seem like they're kind of morons. I don't know what exactly they're looking at, but they damn sure don't know football that well to have teams like Indiana ranked ahead of Tennessee. That makes no sense, okay, because they also have Texas ranked ahead of Tennessee and several other teams that have one loss. So Indiana's strength of schedule is sitting at 100 currently. If they are able to make it in the top 5, then Army is just drastically underrated because I think their strength of schedule is at like 131. So there's not a huge difference there, but they're both undefeated teams. I would say that Army should at least be in the top like 15. If that was the case, then maybe I can understand why Indiana is ranked ahead of Tennessee at this point. But again, it's really not going to matter because it's all going to play itself out whenever Tennessee runs the tables. That's what we need to do is just show and prove. And I feel like the entire team should feel very disrespected, from the coaches to the players to the trainers, everything. We should feel very disrespected that they are, for some reason, trying to keep us out, or, they're doing their best to. Anyway, I don't think that it's going to work because we are going to win out. Also, I think the BYU's probably in a pretty good spot, but we all know that they almost lost to Utah, and Utah is sitting at like 5-4 or 4-5, or it's something like that, or 4-4 maybe. I don't know exactly what their record is, but it's not great. So the whole point right there is that, BYU barely beat them, and they actually probably lost if it wasn't for that little ticky-tack pass interference call right there to bail BYU out. So we'll see what happens with them on down the line. I would not be surprised if they end up falling to somebody. Penn State, man, look, I love James Franklin, but who have they beat? Illinois? I mean, that's not really a very strong win. Who has Texas beat? Vandy? Like, that's their best win. Vandy is not even ranked. So that's kind of a joke. You know what I mean? Like, they let Georgia come into their house, and I wouldn't necessarily say beat them down. Yeah, the scoreboard would say that they did, But really all that happened in that game, y'all, was Georgia got to operate with some really short fields because for some reason, man, Sark in some of these big games, he just does dumb stuff. You know, he'll just throw the ball to the other team, running all these trickeration plays, man, just play regular football. And I think that they probably would have blown Georgia out. If they played again, Texas would probably win that game pretty big. But I mean, look at Tennessee's resume. Yeah, we might have lost to Arkansas, and we have to, as Tennessee fans, hope that Arkansas wins out just in case. But we beat Alabama, and Alabama beat 4 or 5 of the teams that's in the top 25 at this point. So I think that should say a lot. You know what I mean? People were talking about how, bad Alabama was whenever Tennessee beat them. But now all of a sudden that they're beating up on other teams, well, Alabama's just really good. How about maybe Tennessee was just that good that we made Alabama look bad, right? Like maybe that's what's really going on here. But Tennessee, honestly speaking, should be the highest ranked team from the SEC because we are the number 1 team in the SEC. And our resume is better than Texas. Texas strength of schedule is number 55. Tennessee's is number 35. We're both, we both have the exact same record. So I don't understand some of this stuff. The Buckeyes being at number 2. Also who have they beat? Well, Penn State, I can understand that. But I mean, Penn State, like I said, I think that they're overrated. So if it was me, I think that Tennessee should probably be in the top 3 somewhere. And it is, it's tough seeing us sitting at number 7 and we're not moving up. That just tells me that they do want to try to keep us out. So biggest thing here, y'all, is that we absolutely have got to win every single game from this point forward. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But that was the expectation of coming into this thing anyway. So I think that we'll be just fine. Hopefully the team does feel disrespected. They'll use this as a motivation to go down to Athens and blow them dogs out. But those are my thoughts. Please share yours with me down in the comment section. And as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. See y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.